All right, darling. So I'm going to throw you into the deep end of the pool. Let's talk about self-confidence and self-esteem and how it applies to our topic of the day, numbness. One of my favorite Pink Floyd songs came on, "Comfortably Numb." Are you familiar with this song?
No,
Hmm.
I'll
Okay.
go and find it on YouTube.
Okay, and there's kind of a backstory on this comfortably numb thing. One of the band members, just before they went on stage, broke his arm,
Wow.
and apparently was in a tremendous amount of pain. And you know how show business is. They brought in a doctor and they shot him up with, I'm guessing, morphine based as you listen to the song, you'll discover that this guy is truly blasted out of his mind. And he and the line of the song is that he's comfortably numb and he's having memories of him being a child where he had a fever and his hands felt like they were floating and all of that stuff. And it struck me that Stephen Gilligan talks about how people, when they're in a stress situation or a trauma situation, they go into fight, they flight, they freeze, or
Hmm.
they fold.
So do
I was
I.
thinking the 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 song lyrics, "Uncomfortably Numb," and my mind began to process how many people do we know that this literally describes their life. They have become comfortably numb. They might be in a marriage that is semi okay.
Yeah.
They have a mortgage. They've got three kids. They're getting ready. The kids are getting ready to graduate from high school or college, and they have reached a state in which that they no longer argue. They no longer have sex. But let's not get lost in the details here. They are in essence comfortably numb,
Yes.
and they are living their lives in what I prefer to call it. They're in a coma,
Yes.
and I am certain that you have a product that will help snap them out of their coma. What is it?
Gain self-esteem and self-confidence. Do you know the Talking Heads? Same as it ever was. How did I get here? Whose is this beautiful wife? Whose is this big car? How did I get here? Same as it ever was.
Yeah, that's the theme song from Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
All right.
Yeah, same as it ever was.
Yeah. How did
Okay.
I get here?
Yeah, I don't know really what happens. There we are, we're clicking along, and everybody listens to music. Did you guys used to go to concerts and everybody has that one friend who had their shrine. We would call it a turntable, but it was their shrine. They would take their records out and they would very carefully clean them.
Yes.
It'd take them 3 minutes, to clean this record, and they'd play one track, and they'd
Yes.
talk. They'd talk all the way through it, telling you how awesome it was. They'd take it off, clean it back, put it away, and they'd start this process. That was not me. No, mine was more the reel to reel, the tape decks that had like 10 hours of music on it, and you flip it on. When the tape ran out, you put in a different one. But the point would be is that at some point, and I'm getting back to that comfortably numb conversation, at some point, people stop listening to music and they stop reading and going to plays and doing all of the things that truly enhance their lives. And they sit down and they watch the groove tube, or they drink too much, or they drug too much, or they argue too much, or whatever it is, and somehow they go in a state of numbness.
Yes. Yeah, I think what we need to do is almost consider deleting or really deeply filing away this phrase. self-confidence and self-esteem. I think we need to reframe that and simply consider being comfortable in our own skin, which which doesn't mean that we don't get the highs. We can do the rock climbing and we can face the challenges and we can still get the adrenaline flush, and then we use it up because we have a really good productive argument or we really do that rock climbing, but that we're just comfortable being ourselves in our own skin. And that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to reframe it. And one of the things I wanted to consider was I've been really interested in recently coming across some studies that have been done in the wonderful USA. And these studies have been kids going off to school, and maybe they don't like the first couple of days being away from mom and dad and stuff like that. They're comfortable in their own skin until they're encouraged to develop self-esteem. And then what comes in is this competition, and competition is great. But when we look at aspects of competition, what it seems to be doing for some of the kids is that they begin to stop feeling happy in their own skin because they're failing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole new area to look at as a reframe for me, if that makes sense. Reframing. Mm-hmm. Let's be happy in our own skin, mm-hmm. no matter what's going on in the world out there, and that the emotional weather out there maybe gets pretty uncomfortable, but our skin layers up and we become waterproof to the stormy emotional weather outside of us.
Our children particularly, they spend a lot of time, and it's actually a mixed message here, that they do this message of, oh no, don't come, this isn't a competition, we're all here to have fun, kind of thing. And they've kind of, in my opinion, they've missed the message of it is perfectly okay to compete with yourself. The person I was a year ago or yesterday, I'm not that person anymore. I'm a brand new person, and there's a whole new, and I have my internal benchmarks, and I can personally choose or not to choose to strive to meet or exceed those benchmarks. I also think that healthy competition in terms of you're playing a game, okay? We're playing checkers or chess or volleyball or whatever it is. I think that it is perfectly okay for someone to be the best.
Absolutely.
And I don't really know where this mindset came in, but I've been noticing it develop over a period of time that there in the U.S., particularly in child sports and stuff, there are no winners, and they give out participation awards. You showed up, therefore you get a prize. What type of message do you think that we're giving our kids long term? Hey, I showed up. Where's my prize? And I've got a big news flash for them. That's not how the adult world functions. And you have to just showing up and doing your job, or showing up and doing your part. It's a necessary component, but I don't think that they should be giving you a Chrysler Cordoba or a brand new, Gulfstream jet just because you put your tennis shoes on. You're gonna have to do something.
Yes.
and I think that that's where that confidence course that we're discussing, or treatment that you're discussing with the Rapha Self program, I think that will open it up so that people can understand that it is okay to be you in your skin. You can choose to compete or not, but you're not competing against somebody else. You're not trying to make yourself better than this person here. It's all about individual.
Yeah, great.
Individual feeling. Would you like to expound on that?
Yeah. just briefly in that, and although I've been trying to say, let's delete this phrase, self-esteem and self-confidence, but reframe it into being comfortable in your own skin. Quite a lot of work I've been doing recently, for many, many years, but really honing these ideas about what stops us being comfortable in our own skin, to push on that bit further in whatever areas of life, to enjoy pushing on, to enjoy the challenges of pushing on, is the negative inner self chatter, basically, that keeps blocking us and saying, I can't, and the what if I do. So that protocol, Gain Self Esteem and Self Confidence, the Rapha Therapy, it's just brilliant. That's one of the big things that it does for you, is it gets rid of, in the right way, thoroughly, that negative inner bullying and the I can'ts and what if I do, I better not do it. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Sally, I think that what we should do, this because we've been having this interesting conversation with our being comfortable in our skin, why don't we give the viewers a discount, and you can tell them all about it.
Absolutely. It's a gift from us to you. 30% discount on the MP3 download, Gain Self-Esteem and Self-Confidence. At the checkout, all you need to do, type in the code MH1, Mike Hotel 1, and get going. And really want you to enjoy being happy and comfortable in your own skin sufficiently to you can just expand on your immeasurable potential to succeed in whatever that might be, in celebrating your life. Thank you.
And thank you. I had big fun talking to you today. We should do this. We should talk more often.
I've had big fun too.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.